Hiya, primates! Links to the video we react to today are in the description below. Also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as hit the little bell to be notified whenever we go live or put out new content. It really helps us out. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show! Why I Had to Leave Kick by... It's Melissa, dude! Hey! Freaking stop reminding me about that. I'm gonna have to stop that. I hate that. The new launcher from Hunk, I did that.
For those of you who don't know who I am. Hi everyone, for those of you who don't know who I am, which is probably 99% of you, my name's Melissa and I was previously employed by Kick and Steak. There's been a couple of controversies recently that I've posted on my Twitter just in regards to how they've treated me since I left. Not only did they send me a cease and desist, which I'll go into in a second, in regards to this tweet.
Why?
Or here.
In regards to this tweet, hello, I have decided to step down from my position at Kickstake. Sometimes you have to go with your gut and stand by your values. Oh-ho-ho!
But they've also been lying about the fact that I was fired when I quit. So I posted this post with my resignation letter in it.
See, that's just that's some petty, sneaky, suspicious stuff when companies... Similar to Niji Sanji did the same thing, where they claimed that they had fired them instead of it being them quitting. Is there a depth that Kick streaming won't stoop to? I have been told multiple times since I quit that they are going around saying I was fired and making up ridiculous reasons why. Let's put this to bed right now. Here is a screenshot of my resignation email. I quit to get away from this type of BS, unethical behavior. Yet they persist. Is this even legal? I'm not sure on that, but I've been under and I'm streaming on Kick right now. Okay, I've been saying for a while, Kick is very, very shady. They definitely are.
I think a lot of people were kind of confused on why I would post a resignation letter to 700 people that follow me on Twitter. This is because quite a few people in the esports industry do follow my account. And I thought it was a good way to showcase that if they had heard these lies, that they were absolutely unfounded. And I felt like I really had no other option. I mean, it was either let it go or try my hardest to get it out there, that was absolutely not the case. Now, when I talk about them lying about me being fired, I'm not talking about an entry-level exec or some account manager. I'm talking about the CMO of both Kick and Steak, the guy that approves all the contracts. He's the head of the affiliate team for Steak. He runs the social media team, but pretty much everything runs through him. Every event, anything at all, as far as ideas or streamers or anything runs through this guy. He's basically Ed. He's on pretty much the exact same level as this guy. He directly reports to Ed. The CMO basically runs everything. I think they decided to go with this strategy because Steak and Kick are supposed to be sort of booming at the moment, and a lot of people in the industry would probably think it was crazy for someone to leave because it's such a big opportunity, and it really is.
You have to understand, though, the only reason Kick... I'm not saying the only reason, right, but a big reason why Kick is exploding is because they I'm not saying they... Well, no, screw it. I will say they're basically... They're allowing their own creators to freaking, bot their freaking views.
Especially being in Australia where we really don't have a big entertainment industry at all. So, this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for people. I think that they would have thought they would get away with saying that I was fired because there's no way someone would leave this business. Little do they know it was actually extremely easy to leave with the things that go on in that office. The ego on these people is insane to think that no one would leave. But they do employ people purposely that are completely okay with unethical behavior and conduct it themselves and work with zero integrity. So I'm not surprised that they were surprised that I would leave. I guess that was a mistake on their point to even employ someone like me, thinking that I would be okay with even a quarter of the things that happen in that office. It's important to note that the office environment for me was extremely hostile. Not only because I was being treated pretty poorly by a couple of individuals and the people that I went to for help were not helpful at all, but because there was just a consistent disrespect to other people's opinions and beliefs. And this went as far as to just consistently hearing the F slur. And not even just in jest, as a joke, it was specifically, targeted towards people that it was supposed to discriminate against. Even so much as to walk past the social
actual gay people,
that run the, Kick streaming and Kick community, and hear the N-word just dropped. Hard R. And I'm like, what is this office? How? And they had...
The N-word dropped hard R?
Was in the room. And I just sort of was like, what did I just hear? I couldn't believe it. And it's like, I came from companies that if you said anything slightly offensive, you were in trouble, if not fired. Like, and I think, there is a balance that you have to strike. But at the end of the day, it's the company's responsibility to ensure that everybody feels safe and welcome. I even remember seeing a couple of people in my team laughing because they were deliberately misgendering transgender streamers. Like, how do you function in that environment? So in regards to my resignation letter, a lot of it was blurred. This was just due to the fact that a lot of it was personal information that wasn't really relevant, or it depicted another staff member whose story is not mine to tell. But the part that you could see that I really didn't want public, but I knew if I blurred literally the entire thing out, it would have zero impact and people would just assume that it was fake anyway. So I speak about the fact that I needed flexible working arrangements and that they were revoked. A lot of people assumed that I needed to be home all the time, or I was working from home, or I wasn't showing up from work, or I was taking a ridiculous amount of time off, which is just absolutely not the case. So my daughter started school in February, and every second week I needed to pick her up. So I would get in at around 9:30 after dropping.
That's pretty understandable. Even right now, like, bro, once you have kids, your time is split, dude. That's it. Like,
her off. I wouldn't take any breaks or have lunch, and I would leave by about 2:30. It's important to note that a lot of staff members work from home, and we absolutely didn't have a stringent office working environment where we couldn't actually access information outside of the office. Especially my team, where we had to work 24/7 because we were the POCs for a lot of partners overseas. And also I was consistently working with businesses overseas. So there were times where I would be working from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. outside of work hours after doing a day's work. So it was very normal to work from home anyway. And all I needed to do was work from home for a couple of hours at the end of the day to pick up my daughter every second week. You can imagine it was a surprise to me when the manager of the partners team, yes, the same guy that has been going around spreading lies about me, sat me down and just flat out said that my flexible working arrangements would be revoked effective immediately, and I need to find alternatives. I found it absolutely disgusting that that was effective immediately, when basically giving me no time to come up with an alternative. And not to get too personal, but I don't have anybody to lean on. I don't have friends or family that can help me out here, and they were very aware of that. So for me, there was no other options. They were basically telling me to choose between my child and my work. Of course I asked.
if true, then it seems like it may have been less that they were looking for a reason, and more that they were looking for an excuse to do this to you, to try to get you out, you know?
Asked if this had anything to do with my performance, because to me that was the only excusable reason that they could have to even revoke the rights, but to do it so suddenly. I was told in that meeting that it had absolutely nothing to do with my performance, which made sense to me because
I made sure to record this meeting as they've already done some very dodgy things.
I wasn't underperforming at all, and I hadn't been told ever that I was underperforming. So it would have been very out of the blue for them to just say it in that meeting and not tell me anything prior or give me any kind of notes prior to that, like, oh, please work on this, or you need to do better here. When I asked what the reason was for this insane backflip, they told me that my parental responsibilities were becoming a burden to the team's morale and that it was going to have an effect on their performance. And as you can see, this was solidified in this email. Yes, I have blurred out the rest because it's totally irrelevant and I want to make sure that this stays on track.
The team's morale. What an absolutely hurtful BS statement, though.
You know,
like,
if
actually,
you're a parent, you know that your morale is also very low, especially if you're working full time. So to hear that other people's morale was low for me having to run around like a psychopath every morning and every night trying to, you know, scurry together to get her to school, to get to work, to leave work, to go get her, you know, it was a lot of pressure on me, and it's a lot of pressure on anybody. And to be so blatantly just disregarded, you know, and overlooked in that moment, it really sucked. Look, I wasn't at all surprised about being treated like this because the way that company is run is unimaginable, but it did make me sad being told that basically my daughter was a burden to other people. I also reference in this resignation letter that I was being mistreated by a couple of co-workers. I'm not going to get into this right now because honestly, it's just a lot. There's a lot to say. I actually made a video that was an hour and a half long about Kick, but I decided that I kind of came off a little bit like this guy. So I'm not going to release that right now.
A Charlie Day, like freaking
my
with the
last
freaking
month
red
at the
string and
company
everything.
what was the turning moments that made me go, this is absolutely not worth it anymore. So after being told that I couldn't have flexible working arrangements, I sought out the CMO, that great guy, and I was like, what do I do? Where do I run? Who do I speak to? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, I'll speak to Ed. Ed is the one that basically fires you, or he doesn't, because of these types of issues. So every single day I came in, I was like, okay, I'm expecting them to give me an answer. You know, a week went by, 2 weeks went by, 4 weeks went by, and I'm still chasing this guy up. Like, what's going on? Can you just let me know? Like, can we talk about alternatives? I'm happy to do an extra day on the weekend if I have to. Like, I wanted to continue to try and move this platform to a good place, a safe place, a savory place for the industry. And I couldn't do that if I didn't work here. And honestly, they need all the help they can get in that regard, because most people that work there really don't give a shit. I actually never got clarity on this at all. I actually quit before I ever got clarity about it. So who knows what would have happened. The stress of not knowing was definitely a part of wanting to leave,
you're freaking fearing for whether you should start making a resume or not.
The last couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, that really solidified the fact that I was absolutely not in the right place. One of these incidences was when I was in a meeting, and for those of you who don't know, there's a creator on Kick who got a contract through one of the bigger streamers. This creator has special needs, and we gave him a contract out of good faith and the fact that this bigger streamer was quite a fan of him. Quick side note, I grew up with a severely autistic cousin, and I am very in tune with the needs and well-being of anybody with a disability. So I wanted to follow up on this guy's contract renewal, because the POC was the manager of the partners team. And I don't know if you guys have figured this out or not yet, but he's a massive dick. So I was really concerned that this streamer wasn't going to be treated well, and I was right. So when I asked about this streamer's contract renewal, he had a smirk on his face and goes, I decimated his rate. And this was apparently fucking hilarious, because everybody else in the room laughed. I said, well, what did you put it down to? And he proceeded to then brag about the fact that he got him on a below market cent rate for an English streamer. Everybody thought this was funny, and I was shocked. And even if I think about this too much,
so if this is true, what she's saying is that they basically screwed over a special needs streamer, and we're even laughing at the fact they gave him a lower deal.
It actually makes me cry, because the thought of how bad this streamer must have felt, it's just not right. And the level of just cruelty there as well, and just absolute no compassion towards the fact that this person, there are no words. I have no words about this. It made me, I don't use the word hate very often, but it made me hate this person, which was very difficult because he was managing that team that I was a part of. Being around this people and those people who thought it was funny became impossible. And this is amongst a billion other things that I put in that hour and a half video that I haven't released, but I think this kind of adequately depicts the type of people that are, pulling the strings behind this platform. The second reason, the second incident that happened about 2 days prior to me leaving, which really solidified it. I walked out of this meeting, called my friend and was like, it's done. I'm done. I'm out of here. I cannot do this anymore. We were talking about the fact that they were trying to get a very beloved Twitch streamer over to Kick, to stream Steak as well. And
stream Steak, okay.
God, it's horrible. And just for context, this particular streamer had been publicly battling cancer recently. So they decided to utilize that in their strategy to get this person over. The conversation very quickly became quite sinister. I'm going to say a quote, and something that I cannot get out of my head because it's so heinous to me. And I think it will speak volumes in, the type of characters that work there, which is why I had to get out. The quote that I remember hearing was, "We can get her on Kick streaming steak for a relatively low price because she probably thinks she's going to die soon and she'll want to leave more money for her family."
That's
when I heard that,
freaking cruel, dude.
I was surprised. I looked up in surprise. And everybody else was sort of looking at this person that was speaking and just being like, yeah, that's true. Let's go with that. Like, I think
just a bunch of yes men.
And I remember getting really hot after that. Like, I just felt like I was in hell and I was talking to the devils and I was talking to demons, like, and these demons were plotting to, take over the world and I had to stop them. Like, it felt so bad. When I walked out of that meeting, I actually ended up going home early because I needed to after having that conversation with my friend, I just needed to really, really think hard about whether I could stick this out. And obviously my decision was that I was going to walk away. I had no intention to expose the company, although a lot of people that I did speak to about these issues, like throughout the entire time I was there, and then obviously when I left and the reasons why, they said that people should know about this, especially because this company has so much influence. Letting people know about what's going on behind the scenes might help them hold them accountable. And there is nothing without accountability.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
Now, they are
agreed.
Not accountable for anything. As you can see, they just let shit slide. They do anything. They don't care about pedophiles on the platform. Like this guy right here.
Exactly.
I had to tooth and nail to get this guy off.
Exactly. Thank you.
In the other video, but yeah, fought so hard to get this guy off, and he told 2 14-year-old girls that he wanted to do something sexual to them, and he even included their age in the proposition. I mean, if you haven't seen the video, it's so heinous, it's so wrong. And the fact that everyone there could watch it almost with a grin on their face. There were staff members who were defending it, saying that it was a joke. That was actually one of the first times I was like, I have to walk away. If this guy stays on the platform, I have to go. Child endangerment, like having children on the platform. Before I got there was
I always got the feeling Kik never cared about that, about the pedos.
It's so funny because by the time I left, me and compliance had put together a process, and because I was pushing it so hard, I'm like, we cannot allow anybody under 13 to stream. Now, nobody knew this, by the way, because I guess when you copy Twitch's TOS verbatim and then you just get some random guy in the office to change, the wording, none of the staff know the terms of service. So a lot of people were just like, nah, she can stream even if she's 6 years old because, she'll have her dad near her or whatever. And it's like, no, that's actually not the case. She cannot be on the platform and she cannot hold her own account. Funnily enough, when I left, I was like, okay, good. The child safety part is pretty much done. They have a process now in place, and I'm pretty sure there's no need to allow children on the platform because what market are you trying to capture? You already have pedophiles on the platform. Are you just trying to appease them? What's the point? I still don't know, because I saw this tweet about 2 or 3 weeks ago where a prominent staff member is promoting on Twitter an 11-year-old boy who, whilst I was there, I was the reason why this kid got banned. And I'm sorry to the child that, that might upset you, but it's about your own safety. And especially on Kick, I feel like sometimes Kick should be under it. You can't even be on it.
Yeah, no, these are very, if this is all true, these are very bad people that do not have the child's interest in mind at all.
Under 18. This child was banned when I was there because, I did have a zero tolerance towards it, because children need to be protected, not only against the people on the platform, but you need to protect children against being, exploited by their parents, which you see on YouTube all the time.
Absolutely.
You need to protect children from people on the streams. Like if he got chatbotted, or, a bad character came into his stream and started saying horrible things that you can only imagine, I would feel guilty for that. And who knows what that's going to do to that child as he grows up. Ugh, God, it's I just can't believe these people. Anyway, so as you can see in the tweet, he's just promoting him. He's reinstated his account. The kid gets featured all the time. And he's verified. And he's 11. And the reason I know he's 11 is because on his Facebook page that he used to stream on, it says, I turned 11 in Dallas. They just blatantly ignore their terms of service, which are in place to protect children from dipshits like this.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's funny too because Kick's entire premise for existence was supposed to be Twitch, but better because they were so mad at Twitch is not following their TOS.
That I, for some reason, had to fight to get off the platform. I'm sorry, it's this type of shit. This just makes me so frustrated because the bare minimum is to protect
Oreo
kids.
relax, baby.
And these two examples just showcase that they could care less. They could care less. There were times when I was nearly in
relax,
tears
baby.
because I just didn't understand why they cared so much about letting this guy stay and letting this kid on the platform. I don't understand. I do understand that the less savory streamers do have viewers that are likely to mortgage their fucking house to stream on stakes. So that is the reason. And well, you know, what's a few pedophiles for a few $1 billion? So anyways, thank you for watching. I don't know if this video is even going to go anywhere. I hope it does because this is the only way that they're going to be held accountable. I also don't know what's going to happen to me because of this video. I don't really care if they sue me. I doubt Stake wants to be in a courtroom anyway, but if they do, I mean, I have nothing to take anyway. I'll pay them like $30 a week for the rest of my life, or I'll declare bankruptcy. But I guess the worst thing would be if I just disappear randomly. You know, crazy things have happened to people that go against big gambling companies. Just look it up. But so if I do disappear randomly, luckily I moved house recently and I'm not even on the lease, so hopefully they can't find me. But I feel like after recording that long video and even doing this...
Bro, she really... she has a right, she has a certain right to be scared, right? Look at the whole Boeing situation.
This one.
They've made like 2 or 3 different people disappear at this point.
It's really sorted out a lot of my thoughts, and I've been able to really reflect on what happened there and how wrong it all was. There is so much more, but I think for now that kind of at least showcased my little story about why I left. And yeah, I appreciate it, and please just be aware of these things. And I'm not trying to shame anybody on Kick, any creator. If you're on Kick and you think that, you know, it's better for your community or you're happier there, that's totally fine. It's not your responsibility to, you know, take on the burden of the inner workings of a company that you're slightly associated with by using their platform. That is not your burden. It is, however, important that you guys can make an informed decision. So I hope that kind of sheds a little bit of light on that. Anyway, thank you for listening and have a happy day.
Absolutely amazing video. I am so glad that she came out and said all this. Again, I don't know how much validity there is to it. If it's true, she sounds like she's gonna have a video coming out soon discussing that whole operation, that whole situation. Let me see here. Sorry, just pulling up the cantina here. Please go like, go subscribe. I do want to keep up with this story. One of the major reasons, even though the thing is, I had a lot of problems with Kick to begin with, like from the very get, but I still decided to stream on it. And because my mentality has always been, if I want the platform to change, then I need to be involved in the platform. I can't change Kick, not like by just avoiding it, you know? I can't, like, I want it to be similar to like on Twitch and on YouTube. I want to be a safe place. I say safe place, right? I want it to be a cool spot for just cool people to hang out and not have to stress and worry about BS. We could just sort of talk, laugh, and just sort of enjoy the fact that we're all in each other's company as a community, and you know, we're just cool people, which is why, like, even people who sometimes will, like, mess up, what is this? Oh yeah, don't deny that. Thank you, Mud. Somebody was trying to spam again their freaking website. But yeah, so it definitely helps out. It definitely helps out to bring this all to light, because I feel like if it doesn't come out to light, then exactly the way she said, there will be absolutely no accountability, and nobody's going to come out and like in that office, in that group of freaking people that they've effectively hired. If this is all true, they're not going to come out and like make a change. They're just yes-manning each other, and that's the culture that they're trying to breed there. So it's like, yeah, if this is all true, and I'd like to see the hour plus video that she was talking about that she's gonna release, because I feel like if there's any kind of evidence that would help this out, that would make it very well. Because so far it's just sort of like a he said she said situation, but definitely the entire, like, as far as her quitting instead of being fired, scummy move. I've seen it happen before. Very scummy move. Uh, in fact, when I was a manager of my own of a store, my boss tried to have me do the same thing once, and I refused to do it. Uh, and of course, the fact that she recorded that meeting where she was asking for certain days, I'm pretty sure as long as you keep asking for certain days, like they can't really. I don't even know at that point. It's an at will state, so they could have fired you. The fact that they had to make you wait the 3 weeks is just really messed up, and frankly, just shows how they were really just sort of like stringing you along to mess with you. I feel like personally, because me, when I was a manager, I didn't wait. If there was something important, especially if in any kind of way, shape, or form, it would mess with your paycheck. That was my number one priority that day. I didn't care if I had to do inventory. I didn't care if I had to help out a customer. If there was a customer pissed off, I didn't care. I didn't care if I had to freaking fix a device and customers are calling and being pissed if the phone's ringing. Nothing. If there's something that affects my employees' time clocks or their the money that they will be making, their paychecks, that is my number one priority, and I don't let anything else get in the way of that. Their schedule, their paycheck, their actual job, like, and so it's like it's just cruel. It's cruel to keep somebody on that, whether, not knowing whether they're going to be fired, whether they're going to have a job, or whether they have to make some kind of change. Who do they communicate with? What are they going to do with their kids? But I'm glad that at the end of the day, she chose her kids. Honestly, that no job is worth your peace of mind, flat out. I'm glad you got out. I only hope that this video gets attention, and hopefully you can bring out some kind of evidence, or something can, something hard can really be shown, so that people can, sort of, so to speak, so they can support without a doubt. I really hope the best for you, my dude. That freaking sucks to hear that this happened. I would like, like I said, I still want, if there's any kind of way that we can get some evidence, that would be awesome. But of course, like, frankly, the attitude, the disposition, the actions of Kick in their temporary bans, in the way that they treat everyone, like, it's pretty obvious that there has to be some truth to what she's saying. But I'm not one to judge. I'm gonna stay on Kick because I genuinely want this platform to change. But I'll tell you one thing: depending on how this goes, like I can see myself just sort of dedicating to Twitch as well, because Kick is not. The entire point of Kick was supposed to be, what I was sold on was, Kick was supposed to be Twitch, but they actually respected their TOS, and it seems like they're not even respecting that. They have 11-year-olds on the platform now, which is like worse than YouTube, worse than Twitch. They're at 13 at least, bare minimum, but freaking A. Anyone else has to be like with their parents, and all that, but I don't know, man. That's a wild one. So many children get abused by their parents, forcing them to make YouTube videos and stuff, and that kind of stuff, like, is wild to me, and frankly depressing, because of how freaking sad it is that child was being forced to do all this, right? Like, effectively, like, child labor. Just because it's streaming, or just because it's, this cool thing that they're enjoying, doesn't mean that it's any less manipulative of the parents, But at the same time, what kind of, I don't know the whole situation with that child. I don't know what his streaming situation is. I don't know what his parents do for him, or how they help him, or any of that. So, please let me know in the comments, in the chat. Let me know your opinion on this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm wrong, if I'm right. Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? And any news or any updates you have, leave them in the comment section of the VOD, please. Please, please, please. It would really help. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a great rest of your day. And again, just remember, no job in this world is worth your peace of mind, is worth you getting harassed, bullied, or you ignoring your values. Truly. And hopefully absolutely nothing bad happens here to Melissa, because that yeah, no, she should not receive any kind of flack for this. If this is genuinely what happened, and she is saying this in good faith, which it feels like she is, it would be wrong of Kick to try to do do anything in. They need to look internally as opposed to anything going after her in any kind of way. But if they try to sweep this under the rug, I think it'll be the Streisand effect. If Kick tries to sweep this under the rug instead of giving a statement on it, more than likely this could blow up. This could become a much bigger thing than they intended, And hopefully it does. Hopefully that way there could be a little bit of investigation work, a little bit of discovery, a little bit of I don't know. I hope we learn something, and I hope that the platform really changes for the better, because a lot of this stuff is getting a little out of hand. Gotta admit, and it sucks too, because a lot of my favorite streamers have like contracts with Kick. Nux Otaku is one of them, for example. And so it's a bit saddening to see. You were supposed to be better than Twitch, Kick. The frick happened to that? P.S. I just want to point this out at the end of the video, because screw it, why not? Anyone else notice this about the Kick? Look, Kick. I keep mentioning this, and I'm gonna mention it again. Right, but, like... Anyone else see the, K... I'm just saying, okay? I'm not the only one who noticed. It's literally 3 Ks. I don't know what to freaking tell you. I'm just saying that logo looks bad. I'm just saying, get a new logo. It don't really blend in too well. I'm gonna be honest with you. The first like 2, 3, 4 times I looked at the Kick logo, I genuinely thought it was. You know what I mean? What the frick? Anyway. Thank you all so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much, Primates, for watching this all the way to the end. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as hit the little bell for a rainbow explosion that will go ahead and notify you every single time we go live or put out new content. Thank you so much. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by.